Hello, everyone, and welcome to our training today. Today, we're talking about financing alternatives to SBA's PPP program. By the end of this training, you're going to probably know, I don't know, about 8 or 10 different kinds of ways to get money right now, more than 10, I think, that really have to do with what's going on with COVID-19. So these aren't typical funding programs that we talk about. These are really things that are coming out as kind of lifelines per se, or funding that's available to help businesses specifically navigate through COVID-19 that are outside of PPP loans. So let's dive in. For those that don't know me, my name is Ty Crandall. I'm actually CEO at Credit Suite. And at Credit Suite, this is what we do. We help business owners get money. We help you access all forms of capital in one place. We help you build business credit for your EIN that's not linked to your social, without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. And we help you improve your fundability to be able to qualify for all kinds of loans and credit cards. So first of all, let's talk about the obvious, right? Our economy's obviously changed. Small business search for economic relief, and a lot of people are looking at PPP loans for this. This is what's been kind of the flavor of the month per se over the matter of the last few months. The program received billions of dollars initially, over about $350 billion. And for businesses which can use the money to keep their employees and can get a loan, it can be a smart lifeline in troubled economic times. I know a lot of people that have got a lot of help from PPP, and I'm going to talk a little bit about PPP before I talk about all the alternatives, but I have to mention it because while I'm filming this, there's still $130 billion that's left available for PPP. And the government's right now talking about repurposing that money. So it's helped a lot of businesses, could still help you, and it could be a lifeline for your business. So something to still consider, but there's a lot of alternatives to this as well. You have to be able to get up to $10 million. But again, not all it's meant to be, because you've got to be able to use it for certain purposes. And in a lot of cases, that money is not enough to help all the businesses that really need help. So as you know, probably the PPP ran out of money the first time around. Now they're talking, they've refunded it. There's still money left, but that money's not going to last for a long time. So this can't be what you rely on to be able to get funding, not to mention that it's really meant for specific purposes, payroll, basically primarily, and then some other expenses you're allowed to pay. Days after PPP came out, I've started a lot of training on PPP and went over a lot of these things. So if you want more training on PPP, go to creditsuite.com/PPP. We've got a lot of information there, including our SBA broker as well. But what I found is a lot of people that came in and wanted to get financing and help through this crisis, if they didn't have a lot of employees, or they were one-man shops, PPP didn't really help them. So you might be somebody that got PPP, used your funds, still need help. You might be somebody that never applied for PPP, and it's worth looking into. Or maybe you didn't have any employees, so PPP didn't make sense. This is why we're doing this webinar and the training today, so we can actually go through and talk about how it's not the cure-all. And again, there's other ways that you're able to be able to get money as well. So again, if you got PPP, if you're getting it, you've got to use it to pay utilities. About, I think now it's 40%, 60% can be used for payroll. And you can use it to even repay or refinance. They refinance your economic injury disaster loan, EIDL loan, as part of PPP. So again, if you haven't got PPP, you should still consider it. It's a great way to go. And I want to mention that before I get into the alternatives. But again, as I said, it's not necessarily the cure-all, because there's a lot of industries that are ineligible. There's a lot of people that are ineligible, and a lot of people went through their money pretty quick and are still looking for hopes, or still looking for more. I mean, let's be honest. We could really be looking at a second wave here of things getting shut back down, and businesses that were kind of on the road to recovery might need even more help. So here's the great news. There's a lot of other ways you can get money for small businesses right now, and you can still thrive. You can still survive during this time if you have access to capital. And that's what we've seen historically with businesses, right? I mean, most businesses fail. We know that. Most businesses fail because they can't access capital. We know that as well. And again, being able to come in here and be able to access the money you need when you need it is really one of the biggest differentiators between businesses that thrive in a crisis and businesses that don't. And a lot of people coming in. David Jackson, you're awesome. Ty, thanks for tuning in. And Peter, thanks for tuning in as well. Okay, from Facebook. And even if your business gets a PPP loan grant, these resources can help supplement that funding. So that's the other thing is, look, even if you got PPP, what I'm going to show you today is a bunch of other cool ways you can get money on top of the PPP you got. So it's really applicable to everybody. So let's start with the federal employment tax credits. Your business may qualify for what's called an employee return retention credit. And this credit's available to all employees regardless of the size, including tax exempt organizations. So even, people that are tax exempt are still able to get approved. Now, there's only two exemptions, state and local governments and their instrumentalities and small businesses who take small business loans. So qualifying measures are calculated each calendar quarter, and qualifying employers must fall into one of two categories. The employer business is fully or partially suspended by government order. Okay, we understand that. Restaurants, for example, bars, for example, they were partially or fully suspended as a result of what happened with COVID-19. Okay, and employers' gross receipts are below 50% of the comparable quarter in 2019. So not only were you affected, you were really affected. And like I said, best examples here I could think of are restaurants and bars, because a lot of us were adversely affected by COVID, but restaurants and bars had their business ceased overnight. And more than likely, I would say without a doubt, in almost all cases, they saw their sales lower than that same quarter by 50% for 2019. So one of the employer's gross receipts go above 80% of a comparable quarter, they no longer qualify. So bottom line is that those are the ranges that you must fall in to be able to actually get approved. And here's an actual link. It's too lengthy to be able to read out. I take a screenshot of that, but it's irs.gov/newsroom. And this will give you more information. It's called the Federal Employment Tax Credit, something you should definitely look at, especially if your business was really on the front lines of this crisis. Like I said, a lot of businesses were, but the most common examples I could think of are restaurants and bars. Now, the federal income tax filing and payment deadline extension, we got to talk about this, because as I'm filming this, it's July 8th. So we've got about a week here before we hit the new deadline. The new deadline was extended from April 15th to July 15th to actually pay taxes. So for tax payments of up to $10 million, the IRS has also extended the deadline for individuals and businesses to July 15th, the money that needs to be paid. And estimated new taxes for 2020, originally due on April 15th, are now due on July 15th. So the government pushed back, and I want to talk about this because it's a week away, when you can file taxes, when you need to pay the money that's due for your business example, or et cetera. And then it's all pushed to July 15th. So that's in about a week. And they decided not to extend this. So this is happening in a week. There's nothing that says that it's not. So they did give us some extra room here, but you need to know that that day is coming up. So Main Street Lending Program, okay, it's designed to provide support to small and medium-sized businesses during the current period of financial strain by supporting the provisions of credit to such businesses. Additional credit availability is there to help companies that were in sound condition before this happened, okay, and now are not amid, because they're not even able to maintain operations and payroll and get things to normalize because of what's going on. So this is a U.S. Federal Reserve program to help businesses with 500 to 10,000 employees. So it might not apply to everybody here. It's going to apply to smaller or to larger businesses, or the business can have less than $5 million in annual revenue. So a couple different ways you can qualify. You might be able to get this. It's actually something you should look into. And it's at federalreserve.gov/monetary policy/files/main-street-lending-FAQs. But again, you can Google it and find it at Main Street Lending Program. Something that you want to consider. Jean Pierre says, are there companies you recommend that specialize in hard inquiry removals? I'm interested in the business credit hybrid program. I have 3 inquiries. You could talk to our team in 877-600-2487. We might be able to recommend you. We work with a handful of credit repair companies we refer customers to that I think can help you. And there's also an inquiry removal company that's out there online. I can't think about their name. We've used them in the past. But if you Google inquiry removal, you'll find some companies that specialize in that, or just call our team. We can refer you to one of the consumer companies that we refer customers to that have consumer issues, Jean Pierre. And so hopefully that helps you there. And good morning, Ramel. Thanks for coming in. And David Jackson says that would be us as well. So, okay. And David Jackson here is tuning in, and he might be able to help you. PCS 720. And he says that he does inquiry removal. We have a lot of really cool, reputable credit repair companies that follow us. So David Jackson is chiming in from Facebook and saying PCS 720. That might be his website. And David, go ahead and put your website in so everybody can get that. And he looks like he can help you with inquiry removal as well, GPR. So hopefully that helps you there. Okay. So need funding for a technology company. Well, Lindio and cybersecurity firm Acronos, pronounced completely incorrectly on my part, are working together to help businesses access capital from a bunch of different sources. So you basically fill out a short application with Lindio, and you can access more than 75 U.S. lenders with them. Now, they are offering PPP loans that can help you with that too. They are offering the EIDL loans, and they're offering their standard loan options as well. Lindio offers term loans, business lines of credit, and more. You can find out more at lindio.com. So look, the EIDL loan, let's talk about that as well, because I don't even think I dive into that. The EIDL loan is another option, economic injury disaster loan. This is a loan where you get up to 3.75% interest. You can apply directly with SBA. You don't need to go through a lender or a broker, and you're able to get loan terms up to 30 years. And I've got a lot of friends and a lot of people that are our clients that are successfully getting EIDL loans. So as PPP kind of runs out of steam, let's not forget EIDL loans. If you want to use our SBA broker, you can find them at creditsuite.com/PPP, or there's other sources online. Cabbage is one, Lendio is one, PayPal is one that are beyond the big banks, that are fintech lenders who can help you with EIDL loans as well. And again, Lendio's partnered with Acronis to be able to offer some unique financing options for you too, especially if you're in the tech industry. But Lendio has some pretty good options even if you're not in the tech industry as well. And David Jackson, thanks for putting in your website here, which is pcs720.com. That's PSCS, the number 720.com for Jean Pierre, who's looking for inquiry removal. So also you want to check out the Dell Payment Flexibility Program. So Dell Technologies is offering $7 billion in financing at 0% investment for IT, or 0% rates for IT investment right now. And there's also short-term options for remote working and learning. And you can get that at delltechnologies.com/payment solutions. So if you're in the technology space, man, that's something to look into. As a matter of fact, I'm going to talk about a few options that can work for you if you're in that technology world. So if you need financing for a tech business, small business IT provider, well, then you want to look into something called Hand Washing Karaoke Initiative. And it comes from, and look, yeah, it is karaoke. I mean, I thought it was something different, but it actually is. And from ConnectWise Foundation is their name. You've got to demonstrate a minimum 10% loss in revenue from what's going on. So you're going to have to show information from last year to this year so they can see the loss, or when your sales actually decline. And a preference is given to technology solutions providers, or what are called TSPs, including managed service providers and similar businesses. Your business can't have more than 500 employees to get approved. And you can go to connectwise.com/philanthropy/COVID to learn more about this. So like I said, a lot of unique financing in the tech industry. This is a solution as well. And are you buying technology? Well, Hewlett Packard or HP is offering payment relief for buying their products. It starts with reduced payments. They defer over 90% of technology costs up until next year. And starting in 2021, each monthly payment would equal approximately 3.3% of total contract value. So bundle up 20% select non-hardware items, software, appliances, services, installation. But look, here's the bottom line. You know, a lot of businesses get started with what's going on right now with COVID, meaning that when recessions happen, a lot of people start their own business because they get laid off and they're sick and tired of working for the man and, you know, actually being able to have their entire fate determined by somebody else. So they start businesses. So if you're an existing business or a new business, this is a really cool way to get money. And let's not forget that Hewlett Packard also offers business credit without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check if you've established initial business credit first. I'm not going to talk about this a lot today because I talked about it yesterday, but man, business credit's a great alternative as well to be able to get money with what's going on in COVID-19. You can get approved regardless of consumer credit. They don't verify income. So there's no tax returns. There's no bank statements looked at. They don't need collateral. So anybody starting a business or with an existing business can get it. And you're able to get $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 credit lines in about 3 to 6 months building your business credit. So I'm not talking about that a lot today. You can go to our Facebook and YouTube channels and see how we talked about that yesterday. But you can start with getting credit with vendors, stuff you pay cash for now, and being able to finance it on 30, 60-day terms. Then that builds an initial business credit profile and score for you. Then you're able to get credit at almost all major retailers, HP, Dell, Apple, for example, Sam's Club, Costco, Walmart, Amazon, Macy's, Nordstrom, Apple, Staples, Office Depot, Lowe's, Home Depot. I can go on and on. Almost every major retailer offers it. Then with about 8 accounts reporting on your business credit report, you can move to Fleet Credit, Sunoco, Conoco, all the gas stations. And then with about 14 accounts, you can start to get Visa cards, MasterCards. You could start to get auto financing, all without a personal guarantee and credit check. So I didn't mention business credit a lot during the presentation, but you really should consider that as an alternative funding option as well. Our number is right here, 877-600-2487. If you ever give us a call, we'll do a free consultation, help you get your business credit reports for free, and we'll help you qualify for all different kinds of funding on that call as well. And our email says, I have a trucking company I've started in April. Great time to start a trucking company right as the thing was crashing. Need funds to purchase truck and equipment. Is there something there, anything for me? Yeah, absolutely, Ramel. First of all, you can give us a call. There's equipment financing or financing specifically for the purpose of purchasing trucks. It falls in an equipment financing category, but we work with lenders that all they do is big rig financing. And so they can actually help you get the truck. And then we can also help you build the business credit to start getting high limit fuel cards as well. So a lot we can do in that area. Give us a call. We'll talk to you more as well. Okay. And Yolanda, thanks for sharing, everybody. Yolanda's on here on Facebook and included a couple other people. Thanks for sharing and including them on this as well. I really appreciate your shares. I appreciate your likes. I appreciate your loves. I appreciate you tuning in, and I appreciate you sharing. It lets me know I'm on the right track, doing the research to bring all this to you. Okay. So if you're buying technology, IBM also offers payment plans on several products and services, cloud computing, software, infrastructure for IT services. You can find that at ibm.com/financing. Since we're in the IT world, or on that conversation, we might as well talk about some solutions there as well. What about rural America? Well, if you have a business in rural America, then try this company, North Avenue Capital. This lender originates, underwrites funds and services qualifying commercial loans between $1 million and $25 million bucks. They do so with USDA, Business and Industry, Renewable Energy for America, which is REAP, and Community Facilities Program. And they're at northavenue.com. Look, USDA is great for grants as well. And I didn't talk about that in this webinar. But when we talk about grants, USDA, if you're in a rural area, has great grants. And they're free. They don't need to pay back. It's free money. And then HUD, Housing and Urban Development, they are in non-rural areas and they have grants as well that you can get to qualify. If you're interested in grants, there's a great site called grantwatch.com, and grantwatch.com is a great place to find a lot of grants. And like I said, what I like about grants is they don't have to be paid back. But you want to try North Avenue Capital here because they've got some pretty cool solutions. If you're a higher revenue business, to get a loan of $1 million, you need to be doing $1 million plus in sales. But if so, this could work for you. If not, well, then you could still get these grants at GrantWatch, and you can also look into USDA and HUD grants as well. So 3 more funding options that can work for you. Need to hire temporary help? We'll try Upwork's Work Together Talent Grants. Upwork's giving $1 million in talent grants to support businesses working to counter the impact of COVID-19. Grants come in various amounts up to $25,000. The amount of each grant is determined based on each prospect scope, and you can find that at upwork.com/work together. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Upwork, but you need to be. Upwork could be the factor that drives your business to 7 or 8 figures. We use a lot of Upwork to find international contractors. So not only do they have this $1 million in grants, which can help you, but Upwork is where you can get really, really good qualified virtual assistants for $3 and up. I have a lot of people on our team that work for $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8. No, I'm not. This isn't kind of, we're not trying to short people on labor. They come from countries like the Philippines where there's 90% of unemployment rates in some of these countries. $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 is a lot of money. And in countries like the Philippines, getting a job for $5, $6, $7 an hour for an American employer working from home is like a dream job. It's like what people strive to get. So even if you're not getting in on this grant, look into Upwork, because right now when we don't have a lot of money to hire, when we've got to let some people go and we're looking for other alternatives, you can get, sometimes 2 or 3 employees for the investment of 1 American employee and on Upwork. So it's a great place to find international talent that could do all kinds of things to help your organization. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying to not hire American, right? I'm a military veteran. So I'm really big on hiring Americans. I'm very big on hiring veterans as well. That's an important passion of mine. But look, I'll be honest. I mean, as running an 8-figure business, I can tell you that there's positions we never would even do anything with if we had to pay somebody $15, $20 an hour to do them. We wouldn't. We do those positions because $3, $4, $5 an hour, why not? Right? So that's the thing, is it just helps you fill positions and take work off you so you can work on your business, not in your business, by working with international contractors. So something else to work with Upwork on and so consider. Need funding for a restaurant? Well, Grubhub is offering deferred commission fees for impacted independent restaurants. They're also matching all promotions run by independent restaurants with their smart promotions feature. And this is to help make their investments in growth twice as effective as well. So Grubhub helping those that are actually in that restaurant space. And you also can opt in to donate your change at checkout with them, and proceeds will go to organizations that support members of our community who've been impacted by COVID-19, including restaurants, delivery drivers, and those in need. Look, Uber Eats has had something as well where they recommend and give you an opportunity to donate to local restaurants in need. Okay. So that being said, those are some definite things to consider. And restaurants are probably some of the biggest on the front of the line, most impacted companies here that need a lot of our help. And Yolanda put in grantwatch.com. Thanks, Yolanda. And Gene Pierce says, if I spend less than 1K in first tier before applying for cash credit, will be impossible to get cards at least 10,000 as a credit limit. Well, when you're building business credit, the higher amount you spend, the higher the future limits will be. So you're saying, look, if I only spend $1,000 total in all my vendor accounts, will it be possible to get $10,000 limits on the revolving side? Probably not. Because to spend $1,000, you're only spending $100 or $200 with a vendor. And what you're saying is, I'm only going to spend $100, $200. I don't have a need for a high limit account. But they're probably going to start you at $2,000 to $5,000 limits when you get revolving credit. And if you use more of your revolving store credit, then by the time you get to fleet credit and cash credit, you'll have at least one account with a $10,000 limit. So hopefully that helps you. And Gene Pierce says, how is it possible to get 40,000 cash credit limits if I don't get approved for one account with the 10,000? It's not, because you don't need 40,000. And that's what it comes down to is, why do you need a $40,000 Visa card if you're not even using vendors to spend a total of $1,000? So for example, retailers offer what I find 90% of what business owners need to be able to actually buy, right? I mean, what can't you buy that you can't get at Walmart or Amazon besides marketing or payroll? So the reality is that they want to see you're using the credit. If you're using the credit, you get higher limits. But the people that get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 limits, they're actually getting credit they're really going to use. They're really using the credit to grow their business, and that's why they're getting higher limits. It's the same way as consumer credit works. So you've got to be using the credit to show you have a need for higher limits before people are going to give you those higher limits. So you need financing for a beauty salon or nail salon. We'll consider a Beauty Envision Award. Okay, licensed professionals and hairstylists and nail techs and salon owners and educators can apply to receive one of 230 relief checks for up to $1,000 each to help with pandemic relief and recovery. And you can figure that out or find that more information at beautyenvisionawards.com/hairdressers at heart. Okay, so that's beautyenvisionawards.com/hairdressers at heart or hairdressers at heart, or try the Professional Beauty Association COVID-19 Relief Fund. And you can find that at probeauty.org. So two unique, specific kinds of funding for anybody in the beauty salon or hair salon. A lot of people in our Facebook group, Get Business Credit, are in this industry. So I think this can help a lot of you there. Need funding for an independent bookstore? We'll check out Save Indie Bookstore campaigns in a partnership with American Booksellers Association, or ABA. The Book Industry Charitable Foundation will accept donations for Save Indie Bookstores through the end of 2020. Okay, so that's saveindiebookstores.com. So if you happen to be a bookstore, well, there's some unique funding for you there as well. A program that I think is the most popular program that we see for our clients is the Credit Line Hybrid. This applies to all industries, nonprofit, startups as well. $150,000, no doc financing, 0% interest for 6 to 18 months. You could take cash out on these credit lines. A lot of them report to the Business Credit Reporting Agency, so you're building business credit as well. You need a 650 FICO score or higher to get approved. A lot of times they're going to want you to have a 680 FICO score or higher as well. And you can go to creditsuite.com/get funding, and you can find that right at the bottom of our slides to get approved. This program is designed to help clients build business credit that's based completely on your personal credit. So they're going to want to see you have a 650, preferably 680 or higher. They're not going to ask you for financials. They're not going to ask for bank statements, business plans, resumes, none of that stuff that's needed for a lot of other kind of loans and grants you're going to need. What's going to happen is the funding source is going to do a soft pull, review your credit report. They'll give you a pre-approval same day. We're getting our clients pre-approved on average in less than 4 hours right now. They don't want to see open collections, like the recent late payments, tax liens, judgments of any kind, to be able to get approved. And they're also going to want you to have less than 5 or 6 inquiries on your credit report in the last 6 months at least. And they're going to want you to have established credit, at least an account with a $2,000 high limit, or a mortgage or a car loan, and your utilization needs to be low. The lower, the better. You can get approved for as much as a 40% utilization. The higher your utilization, the least or the smaller amount of money you'll get with this program, but you're able to get up to $150,000 with this program. So again, something to definitely consider. So a lot of different things to consider here. SBA PPP program, not really the end all be all. But as I talked about, EIDL loans from SBA are the new craze. They are going to be what a lot of other people are applying for. 3.75% rates, 30-year loan terms. You really need to look into EIDL loans. You can apply right through SBA. Okay, and plenty of other relief as well. Don't forget about the tax relief that we talked about. We talked about grants. We talked about Grant Watch, the HUD. We talked about USDA as well as some others. And there's a lot of specific funding for your industries. Okay, and our credit line hybrid can help. Business credit can help as well. Look, we only talked about a fraction of the financing. I don't talk about the stuff I normally talk about. If you have assets and collaterals like equipment or inventory or book of business or account receivables, purchase orders, you can get financing for all that stuff or borrow against it to get money. 401k stocks, you can get money based on your revenue. You can get money based on your personal credit. There's a lot of other options that I didn't talk about today. I want to talk about a lot of unique funding, but something I want to point out to you today is you saw there's a lot of very specific industry funding out there. And if you're in an industry I didn't cover, then you should look for funding in your industry. Go to Google and type in COVID-19 relief, brewery and look at it, because there's a lot of associations, organizations in your industry that are offering grants, that are offering loans, that are offering relief. And obviously we could go on for hours and hours if we looked at the funding available in every single industry, but you can do the same thing. Go in and start looking at some of, by doing a quick Google search of COVID-19, financing or grants and your industry. I think a lot of options are going to open up that we didn't talk about as well. If we can help you with funding, give us a call. Look, a lot of stuff I talk about like today that we don't do. We don't work with the grants and this kind of specific funding. Nobody does. That's why I gave you the direct sources. But there's a lot of other funding, about 30 different kind of funding programs and over 1,000 lenders we work with that offer all kinds of funding that could work for you. And it's free to figure out how much you can qualify for. And when we help you get financing, we never charge you a dime of money. The lenders charge rates and fees, and we negotiate that down to get it lower than you get on your own. But we don't charge rates and fees. We help build a blueprint for you to move up to SBA loans so we can be your primary funding source. If you get a lot of education and value from what we put out there, then it's worth a call just to see what you can qualify for. 877-600-2487. A few other questions as well. Monica says childcare as well, need a lot of help. I didn't look specifically for financing for the childcare industry, but it's worth looking into because there's probably some specific funding in your state, in your community, or for your industry that can actually work for you there well. Marquise says, hello, time entering the non-emergency medical transport space and need ambulances, wheelchair accessible vans. Is there financing out there? There absolutely is, and you can give us a call. There's commercial vehicle financing out there specifically for this purpose. A lot of emergency vehicles we use to get that done, buses, etc. So give us a call, 877-600-2487. We can help guide you to the right place there. And Elnora from YouTube says, what kind of funding can you get for a business credit concerning starting a home-based business similar to edible arrangements? Well, first of all, I'm not going to answer that question until you send me some of your product to test. I'm just kidding, but I'd like for you to send me some of your product to test because edible arrangements are awesome. That being said, business credit will work well for you. Business credit can work where you could get vendor credit to buy some of the supplies you need, get retail credit, get into cash credit, as Jean Pierre was mentioning as well, and basically be able to fund almost all of what you need the money to initially get your business off the ground with business credit. If you'd like, give us a ring, 877-600-2487. We'll see if you're set up with the reporting agencies now. We'll help you get your reports for free. We'll help qualify you for funding for free, do a fundability assessment, all that at no cost. So give us a call and we can give you some tips and tactics to even help you build business credit as well. And you also say, can you also get business credit for online counseling or education? You can. Business credit's not industry specific. You could be in a really high risk industry. You could be a startup. You could be a nonprofit. I call business credit a catch-all because everybody can get business credit. If you have an entity, entity in the United States, you could get business credit, period. It's all you need is an entity. Then you have to follow the right steps to build business credit. And again, give us a call. We can help you through that. We've also got a great free guide at creditsuite.com/live, I think, or you can go to creditsuite.com/live or go to creditsuite.com/EIN. And we've got a great guide that maps out the detailed steps of building business credit. And you're tuning in from YouTube. We've got a lot of information on our channel that will help you there as well. If you like our social streams, we go live on Tuesday and Thursday at 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock Eastern, or on Wednesday, and it's all Eastern time. And this is the kind of streaming and the information that we put out there. So feel free to tune in. Instagram, Twitter, we have daily tips as well. You can access all of our social channels at the top right of our website, including our podcast, which is downloaded going on 350,000 times. So a lot of people are downloading that podcast and listening on the go. And we do unique interviews on our podcast with leading experts on how to buy businesses and how to, prepare yourself for retirement and everything else you can imagine. So you can check all of that out out at the top right of creditsuite.com. And if you like this, do me a favor, give me a like, give me a share, give me a love, subscribe, and we'll notify you when we go live again. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Feel free to give us a ring, 877-600 for your free business credit and funding consultation. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern, where we talk about more cool ways that you're able to get money for your business. Thanks everybody. Have a great day.